From live vests littered all over the cabin like confetti, to a lavatory that was darker than midnight itself, to a cabin that is falling apart at the seams, and a cabin crew that left way much to be desired. Join me on a rather disappointing flight on board United Nigeria Airlines Embraer 145 from Abuja going all the way to Owerri. Good morning from the capital city of Nigeria, Abuja, and welcome back to another traveling adventure. So today we'll be flying United Nigeria Airlines from Abuja all the way to Owerri. So it's been a crazy week trying to get into Abuja from Lagos, from Overland Airways cancelling my flight to Dana Air deciding it was the perfect time to have a runway excursion 2 days before my flight, which led to the grounding of all their fleets and then effectively dashing my hopes of flying the last active MD-80s in the Nigerian airspace. But more details on that later. It's currently 6 a.m. and my flight is scheduled for 10 a.m. and the airport is quite a distance from the main city here in Abuja, so you really have to get there early. So let's head to the airport and more details on that after we check in. With the sun barely up in the sky, I headed off to the airport, arriving just before 7 a.m. In Abuja Airport, there are two terminals, Terminal Bravo and Terminal Delta. Now, United Nigeria Airlines flies from Terminal Delta. There is also a big signpost at the entrance of the airport that tells you which airline flies from which terminal. At the entrance of the terminal, you have to go through a security check, which involves you putting your bags through a scanner and then passing through yourselves. There are also security operatives there who might want to pat you down and then go through your bags. My headset's on. United, let's find East Green Africa. Which way? United. Here's Dana Air. That's over. I see United. United. No. Over. Yeah, but Benin is still boarding. Over. Checking opens 10 a.m. 7 a.m. No. Where is the lady? Probably the only upside to this entire trip, the check-in counter agents were super nice and they did their job with a very big smile. Although I was probably the very first person to check in for my flight because I arrived super early, the entire process took less than 5 minutes for check-in. Yes, it is. Are you good? Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. I will. Alright, bye. Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Good morning. Thank you. It's not up to Ruro. Hi. They're on the wall. After my seamless check-in, I headed off to security, taking the escalators upstairs to where I would go through a secondary security check. It's how seamless my check-in experience was and how jovial and lively and calm the check-in agents were. I really had high hopes for this flight, but then unknown to me, this was going to be the only good thing that would come out of this flight. So I am all checked in for my United Nigeria Airlines flight from Abuja to Owerri, and it's still 8:30 a.m. and my flight is not until 10 a.m. so I have roughly about an hour. Background on the cancellation of the flights that I mentioned earlier. I was supposed to fly Overland Airways from Ibadan to Lagos and then connect on to Dana Air from Lagos to Abuja, flying their MD-82s. Dana Air is the last operator of the MD-82s in the Nigerian airspace, and I really wanted to fly Dana Air to find out if they really were as bad as the reviews online made them out to be. But then 2 days prior to departure, Overland cancels my flight from Ibadan to Lagos, which really was not a problem because I could take the train from Ibadan to Lagos. But then the same exact day, Dana Air has a runway excursion involving the last remaining MD-82 in the Nigerian airspace. The same aircraft I was supposed to fly from Lagos to Abuja. The aviation authorities grounded the entire fleet pending an audit, which meant that they had to cancel all flights. And if I'm being honest, I don't think Dana Air is beating the allegations anytime soon. So when that happened, I had to fly Green Africa from Lagos to Abuja, and I did not do a review because I already have quite a number of reviews on Green Africa on my channel. I needed something new, so that's a little bit of the story. It's crazy that two different airlines cancel your flight on the same day. I don't think it's every day that you get to see that happen. So again, I still have about an hour before departure, so I'm just going to do some plane spotting. Meanwhile, this is A220. It is such a beautiful aircraft, such a beautiful bird. They are A220s. It's really beautiful. Another thing I want to mention is I don't know the deal with filming in Nigerian airports. I mean, I bring out my camera and my tripod and everybody's like, oh no, you can't film here, oh no, you can't film here. One even walks up to me as far as, oh, I need to see what's on your phone, and I go, all, you can't do that. My phone is my private property. I have not filmed anybody. The only person I have filmed is myself, and I have every right to do that. I mean, I'm not taking pictures of your infrastructure. I'm not taking pictures of other people without their consent. So, and then they go all, oh, they let me pass. But then I needed to do another film in here. So what I did was I had to walk up to one of the security men and get approval before I could even shoot any vlog, and that's really why I'm not even being harassed, because nobody's allowed to film. So I really don't know the logic behind that, but I'm just hoping it makes sense. So if anybody has an idea the reason why, please probably just let me know down in the comments below. But that's that. So I'm just going to head back to my seat and wait till my flight boards, and we'll see what United Nigeria Airlines has to offer. Boarding was eventually called by 10:07, some 37 minutes behind scheduled boarding and 7 minutes behind scheduled departure. Because we were flying a very small aircraft, an Embraer 145, my carry-on had to be gate checked. Now, you gate check your bag when there is limited carry-on space overhead, or you're flying on an aircraft type that is very small and your carry-on cannot fit in the overhead compartment. Here's our ride for today. 5NBWZ, a 22-year-old Embraer 145, which had flown for ExpressJet, United Express, Continental, before being delivered to United Nigeria Airlines in October of 2020.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. The cabin has 50 seats arranged in a 1-2 configuration. Sorry, 21A. Yep. welcome on board United Nigeria's
Private
Embraer
Honda once again,
145.
ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of United Nigeria Airlines. Captain Edom Terminator and the entire crew welcome you on board Embraer 145 aircraft. Flight number U5051 taking us to San Pablo International Cargo Airport, Owerri.
Let's do a quick seat tour. So the seat pocket in front of me had a safety card which contained very clear instructions on what to do in an emergency, and also for the people seated in the exit row. Also contained in the seat back pocket was a magazine with AfriHealth on the front page, and this served as the only source of entertainment on the roughly 40-minute flight from Abuja to Owerri. The seat also contained a standard tray table. We then pushed back and taxied out to runway 22 with just about 20 minutes of delay in total. Just before pushback, the lead crew saw me filming and walked up to me and insisted that I turn off my phone. And even after mentioning that my phone was already on airplane mode, which constituted no problems at all during taxiing, because every other person's phone was on airplane mode, but then he still insisted that I turn it off and that I can only use it during cruise, to which I replied, okay. Meanwhile, enjoy this beautiful takeoff out of Abuja Airport's runway 22. About 15 minutes into the flight, a snack box was shared. Now, inside the same snack box was some bun, juice, a biscoff, and a mint. The same lead crew that insisted I switch off my phone was the same crew that did the meal service. Now, no smiles, nothing, just dropped the snack box and left. Few minutes after takeoff, I noticed this life vest on the floor. Now, it had been there for a while, probably during takeoff, and it was also there till we landed, which means that the crew missed it during the pre-landing checks. And it wasn't just the seats in front of me. Seat 22D also had a life vest out, and when I pointed it out to her, she picked it up and put it in the seat pocket in front of her. I really don't know how safe that is in an emergency. Another issue I noticed was with the lavatory. The lavatory was so dark that I could barely see my hands in front of myself. Now, the sink wasn't all that clean, but I'll blame it on the age of the aircraft. But my major issue was the lighting. It was so dark that I could barely see anything. I spent a lot of time looking for the flush button because it was nowhere to be found. Another issue I noticed is with the cabin. I understand this is a 22-year-old aircraft, but then United Nigeria could do a better job of maintaining it, because as you can clearly see, it's falling apart. Thankfully, we were nearing the end of our flight, and the cabin crew did a walkthrough of the cabin to collect trash and then did their pre-landing checks, which makes me wonder how they missed the multiple life vests littered all over the cabin during such a critical phase of flight. Was it complacency, fatigue, or was it just plain incompetence? If you're enjoying the video so far, please consider subscribing to the channel at the end of this video. It will greatly help the channel grow. Shortly after the cabin crew did a walkthrough of the cabin, the fasten seatbelt signs came on and we started our descent into Owerri Airport. Excuse. Okay, so I just landed Owerri, and how was my flight? Well, if I'm being very honest, it wasn't the best. The cabin crew, they were not all smiles, and I mean, I understand that your job is hard, but the least you can do is to wear a smile. That was missing. Also, I noticed that there were life jackets scattered all around the cabin. Now I'm wondering in an emergency if that's actually safe. So maybe if you know why that happened, just leave a comment. Let me know why that happened. And then also the toilet was very dark. It was dimly lit. Now if it's somebody who had to wear glasses, I mean I could barely see my hand in front of me. So it was really quite. It wasn't all of that. So my flight on United has been less than ideal, but then would I fly them again? Definitely yes, and maybe they will have a chance to redeem themselves. So if you love the video, give it a big like and leave a comment down below on anything you think United Nigeria can improve on. But then see you in the next video. Bye.